When trauma and trials show up in life, how do you still have hope? That's what the new Harvest Collective album, All Who Are Weary, is all about. When I met with Harvest Collective and they shared the heart behind the music of this album, I knew that we needed some album artwork that really matched the depth of the overall concept. A lot of the songs on All Who Are Weary were birthed out of a season of trial for the members of Harvest Collective and their church, Harvest Church in Memphis, Tennessee. And it was during the season of mourning that Harvest Collective was writing the songs of All Who Are Weary. The album name, All Who Are Weary, comes from a passage in Matthew where Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for my burden is easy and my yoke is light." And when he's talking about a yoke, he's talking about the device that farmers would use to go between oxen that would till the ground as they walked. And so that's what Harvest Collective wrote this album about, that when life gets tough, not if it gets tough, but when it gets tough, God's still there and there's still hope in the midst of it all. Since I was trying to keep this organic, I didn't want to use a ton of graphic elements, so I decided to use some green backgrounds and some good old green spray paint. Since the oxen and yoke are specifically referenced as kind of this metaphor for giving God your hardship and like taking on his rest, I wanted to kind of integrate those into the album artwork as that central focal point. For each single on the album, we picked a different object to represent whatever that song was talking about. Psalm 100 is all about lifting up your praise to God, so we used a harp. For Rock of Ages, we took some stones and built a little Ebenezer like God's people would have done back in the day to reference a point when they saw God show up. For Soul Be Still, we shot a sailboat to kind of reference the times that God calms the storms in the New Testament. And with You Are the Light dropping on Good Friday, we kept it simple and used a cross. We picked a nice muted sage green that I think works really well in the overall album, the brand, and throughout the singles. I also added some elements like noise and grain to kind of help add to the texture of the album and not make it feel too clean or too perfect. We also wanted to update Harvest Collective's brand kit for this album cycle. And overall, I wanted to give them just a fresh toolkit that we could use through social, on their new website, or for whatever else that they need. So make sure to pre-save All Who Are Weary, the new album from Harvest Collective, which releases on May 2nd, 2025.